we have now reached episode 5 of Creature Commandos. And where we thought that we had some questions answered, now maybe are coming back to show maybe it was all a ruse in the first place. I don't know, but here are my thoughts on Creature Commandos episode 5. First off, rest in peace, Alexei. I feel like James Gunn does this with Suicide Squad. There was that one character we follow there. They made a joke about where the other characters couldn't remember what his name was. And it's like, he's been with us the whole time. And this poor guy just got killed. And you're like, oh no, the poor dude. I feel like Alexei was that guy. We all liked Alexei. I didn't want to see nothing bad happen to Alexei. But Alexei got the hit and died by Dr. Phosphorus, which... that's on to the next thing. I think we're going to get into Dr. Phosphorus next week. But man, Dr. Phosphorus is a violent man. And they don't make any if, ors, or buts about that character. Now, there's characters on here that are misunderstood. There's characters on here that are actually good people. They're just listed as bad people. And then there's characters that are just bad people. And I feel like Dr. Phosphorus is a bad person. He even says when he kills Alexei, he's like, oh man, I liked him. But you brutally murdered him. You didn't have to brutally murder him. There was some people he didn't have to brutally murder. The guy that had the jacket, that he needed the jacket from. He didn't have to brutally murder that guy, but he did. He did. He didn't have to brutally murder the people that were in the tank. He could have just walked through the tank. But nope, he's going to brutally murder the people that he fights against. Like, if you're his enemy, man, you don't want to be his enemy because he will destroy you. And I'm very curious to see what we're going to see in episode 6 dealing with him, because I know that will be his backstory. But man, Dr. Phosphorus is a violent man. The next thing I thought of is our main man, Clayface. Clayface was in here, and it was not what I thought it was going to be. I had originally thought that Clayface was going to be Ileana. A lot of people did. I think that was going to be the funnier outcome, that he was Ileana. But then episode 4, when we see the revelation that maybe Gorilla Grodd could be controlling Ileana, we're like, okay, well, maybe that's not an option. And now we're kind of questioning what everything is, because maybe Cersei has been controlling and using Clayface as well? Is Clayface a son of Themyscira? Maybe. You could definitely tell when Rick and Frankenstein were investigating and they're at the college, and she's being kind of the professor that's over Amazonians, was being kind of weird and flirtatious to that one girl and was making a huge thing about lesbians. You knew that the show was going to take a direction with that character, and clearly it was going to be our Clayface episode. We all knew Clayface was going to be in this episode. So, definitely taking a more immature approach to Clayface, which is going to be kind of funny when they come out with this Clayface movie, and you can watch this Clayface movie, which supposedly from James Gunn has said it's a DCU movie. You're going to be able to watch the Clayface movie and go, oh wait, that character who's just horrified me on the big picture screen in the theater is the same character playing Mortal Kombat on Xbox. Which is just going to be, and making comments, like pervy comments about lesbians, you know? It's just Amazonian lesbians. Like, it's going to be kind of interesting, and the balancing act there, but I think that just goes into James Gunn. James Gunn, I think, knows how to play with all the different genres that are disposed to him, and he will do so accordingly. So, after you get terrified of Clayface, you get to watch him, you know, on Creature Commandos playing Xbox. But even then, his character is terrifying. the fight scenes with Rick Flag and Frankenstein, the fact that honestly Frankenstein and Rick Flag almost did not make it out of there, I mean, shows how dangerous Clayface is. So, which to me just shows how elite Batman or some of these other characters are going to have to be on the big screen to take down someone like Clayface. Clayface is a dangerous individual. And I do not believe he's dead, by the way. I know he went, but that's just Clayface. Clayface can get splatted and still be okay, still make it out just fine. So, maybe he's a son of Themyscira. Maybe he's working for Cersei. We're going to have to find out. It doesn't necessarily mean, though, that Cersei's visions aren't completely true. And maybe Cersei's actually trying to make these visions happen. We'll have to see. I think her claw, the cut on her face, maybe it comes from Weasel. Maybe the Creature Commandos trying to take Illyana out causes her to fully trust someone like Gorilla Grodd and start this thing from happening. Maybe Cersei's plan is to make this happen to begin with. We'll have to see. I'm not totally sure. But it has made a question. Who is the real villain of this story? Is it going to be someone like Gorilla Grodd? Or is it going to be like Cersei? Or is it a mixture of the two? Are those two actually working together? And is this a big ruse that's being played against Amanda Waller, the U.S. government, and the Creature Commandos? So, the next thing I want to talk about is Frankenstein. This episode, the backstory, everything involved dealt with Frankenstein. Him dealing with his loss of love, him dealing with him being nurtured by, I guess, what would be considered his mother figure. His father figure was Dr. Frankenstein. His mother figure is going to be this gypsy woman. And the one thought I had with this character is simply all his solutions to his emotions is violence. His emotional instabilities always will lead to violence. His overwhelming happiness will lead to violence. His overwhelming sadness will lead to violence. His overwhelming gratitude will lead to violence. Any type of emotion that I think he feels actually really strongly, at least he claims to, will always lead to violence. That's what his solution is. His solution for if he feels betrayed, violence. If he feels that you've treated him well, it seems like it's going to end with violence. Unless you're the love of his life, and in my theory, if you're his best friend, it's going to lead to violence. I can see him bringing Rick Flag back, but also he's just using Rick Flag for the moment. Once he's done with Rick Flag, does his appreciation for Rick Flag end in violence? I don't know. But it seems like that is the way this character is made, and his sense of empathy toward the poor gypsy woman, I do not think that's how the gypsy woman wanted things to go. And the dog. I don't remember. I might have to go back to the original episodes where he first appears on the boat, but I don't think the dog was with him. Now, it's been years and years. That would make sense, actually, now thinking about it, because the gypsy woman saved him a long time ago. So it wouldn't really make sense for the dog to be alive. But did he end up killing the dog the same way that he killed the gypsy woman? I don't know. I don't know. But those are questions I have for sure with Frankenstein. And man, what a loose cannon that guy is. You can't trust him. You just cannot trust him. And then I guess, where does all this go from here? Right? Like, I'm going back to that original thought. Is it Gorilla Grodd, or is it Cersei? Is Cersei just playing the wild game? If Cersei's playing the wild game, I don't understand why she allowed herself to get beat so quickly. Maybe she didn't expect that, and maybe she's just trying to be more of a tactician. But I don't feel like they're setting her up to be the big bad. There has to be something else going on. I still think it's Gorilla Grodd. I don't think it's just Princess Ilana doing what she wants to do. I do think she's being controlled in some kind of way, which I guess we'll ask the question of, does she actually have any romantic feelings towards Rick Flag? Seems like maybe she does, but we'll have to wait to see. So anyway, guys, all that said, I meant to say this at the beginning. I'm going to say it at the end. Christmas just passed, guys. I hope you had a great Merry Christmas. If you don't celebrate if you don't celebrate Christmas, I do hope that you had a good holiday. If you do celebrate any kind of holiday, but it is a Merry Christmas for me, and happy whatever it might be for you. And guys, all that said, leave a comment down below. Let me know what your thoughts are on this show. What are your theories on Creature Commandos? Are you liking it so far? Is this a good first start for the DCU? Clearly Superman's going to be the start, but how are you feeling about the show? Let me know in your comments down below. Guys, I appreciate you, and I hope y'all are having a good one. Peace.